Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Chandra. I'm grateful to Dr. Suresh Kumar for giving this opportunity and all the supporting partners who are partnering for this webinar series. It's been a wonderful journey you have been through, almost 333, so 333 episodes of mental health webinar. That's very wonderful, and that shows your steadfast move towards the mental health. So I'm grateful to you, and I would congratulate you for this wonderful occasion. Yeah, I think I'm planning to share my screen. I think I'm not able to share. I don't know the reason. I'm not finding it easy to share. So is it okay that I'll continue without sharing the PowerPoint? Okay.
Sir, if you're not able to share it now, that's fine, sir. Please proceed, and we can share your PPT to the group later, sir.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
That's okay. Fine. So actually, I wanted to present this session from a counselor's point of view. Self and recreating a self from a psychotherapist point of view or a counselor point of view. So, see, I have been meeting people with some difficulties. Whenever people are finding it difficult to lead the life, they come to us and we help them. I could see, or I could differentiate two separate groups. One, with a single event, they get disturbed and they come. For example, if someone is meet with an accident, so they go into a trauma and they are not able to perform their regular duty. So for them, we have NLP technique called VKD and some other techniques to get over the issue. Suppose a person is having an issue or emotional issue like anger with someone. Those who are aware know that Gestalt will do. Suppose this has been a practice. The self is designed in a pattern such a way that they often meet such an issue, not of psychotic in nature, but psychological in nature. So we try to find out in Anugraha, we call that as meta feeling. Okay, there is a theme, life theme attached to it. For example, I got a client who was coming to me, and he said he was not able to cope up in the office where he is working in. He is having issue with the manager. So I was asking, and then as I was inquiring, he explained the manager is trying to push him out. So he had to struggle to stay there. And he is so angry that the manager, mistreated him, and he was so cruel to him. In a way, he was not having a very good, move as a manager. So he was so angry on the manager. So I asked, okay, how long you are working here? He said 6 months. Okay, what you did earlier to this? I worked in a company there. I worked for 3 months. I had an issue with the manager, so I came out. So before that, so I was inquiring. He said he was been for around 3 years. He shifted almost 8 to 9 companies, all just because of an issue with the superior. Okay, now this is not taken as a one-time event. Now this is a pattern. Whenever this individual, the client facing an authority figure, he is having issue. So when we go into the deeper level, it is called meta feeling, and the counseling skill for this is called. This is specially designed by Father Wilson of Anugraha. He terms that as cognizant. So different skills are there. There are 8 skills described earlier. Now the 9th skill has been appointed. That has been put forth to find out the root cause and aware what is happening to the client and what is happening within us. So in that case, it is the self is being disturbed and having issue with the superior figure, authority figure. So as I was inquiring about his childhood, he said he had an issue with the father. So whenever he sees some authority, he he try to associate that figure with the father figure. So naturally, he tend to get to fight. So he is not able to cope up in that condition, right, friends? In these type of things, what do we do, or how do we deal about that? It is very appropriate to understand about the self of an individual. Now, to understand the self, I wanted to just take the example of. I'm not going into one particular theory, but of course, I will just go into self psychology to an extent, and I'll explain through self psychology. Then I'll bring forth some other theories also. So, how the self is formed? Sigmund Freud, termed ego, self as ego. So everyone has an ego that is develops, and at a point it gets matured, and that becomes a personality. So how the self is formed? That's a important factor to know. Okay, according to Keynes' cohort of self psychology or ego psychology, he says every individual has a self. They develop a self, and they try to develop a self object. Every individual has self, and that self is trying to develop a self object. In order to develop the self, they need basically three basic. They need three. They need three things, or three needs are to be met in order to have a good self object. Okay. Initially, when the child is born, the child is full of grandiose self. The self is called grandiose self. The child always thinks that they are the world, they are everything. The whole world revolves around them. So they think that they are boss of the world. No, they are the king and the queen of the world. So they want everything to be according to their wills and whims. So that's how it has been created. It is very healthy, of course, at that stage, right? So that grandiose self had to be developed through three basic needs. First one is called need to be loved. So every child needs love. If the love is proper and if the love is being given, it is called mirroring need. That is, when I see a mirror, then I tend to see that myself. So I want to be appreciated through the eyes of my father or mother or family members. So I need to, every child needs that love. The second need is called idealizing need. I'll be explaining that a little later in detail, but just get the point. So idealizing need is, when the child is, coming up and they think they are the world, and that's a time when the child thinks it is not good also. So they want to follow some example. Primarily, the father becomes the ideal self. Like, they want to follow the father. The childhood stage, you must have heard, children talking. Now, my father is a big father. The children used to fight, they say, if something happens to me, my father will come and hit you. Then the other person will say, no, my father is bigger than your father, So the hero of the self becomes the father. So they want to idealize, they want to mirror that father. The third need is called twinship need, belongingness. Now there is everyone, they want to belong to some group or some area, right? Suppose you travel over India, somewhere abroad, wherever you meet some Indian, you tend to, get in team. Oh, you are also from India. I am also from India. Okay. So you get connected. Somehow you tend to connect. So when you feel that you are connected, then you feel happy. or the self becomes very healthy, right? Suppose if you travel to North India, you are a Tamilian. When I go to North India, wherever I see Tamilian, immediately my eyes become brighter. I say, are you from Tamil Nadu? Okay, I'm also from Tamil Nadu. We get connected. When we come into Tamil Nadu, then we talk about the region. I'm also from Madurai. Oh, you're also from, okay, okay, okay. So somehow we get connected. All the groupism, it's developed by that. So these three needs are very, very important. If the three needs are met properly, Keynes says the self-object develops. If all the needs are met, then the self becomes cohesive self. If all the needs are met properly, then the self becomes cohesive self. Cohesive self means it's bind together, togetherness. It's united. Right. When I say the other thing, you will be able to understand this point. Okay. Suppose if my needs are not met, then I tend to create a fragmented self. In Gestalt therapy, this point is being taken. Fragmented and cohesive. Looking at togetherness. Those who practice Gestalt may know. If I have an issue with another person, the conflict is within me. My self is fragmented. So if the needs are not met, then I fragmented. Right. Let's continue. In order to form a cohesive self, every individual need to have optimum frustration. This is according to Keynes cohort. Now I'm just explaining Keynes cohort. Then I'll go in general. I'll be talking about Eric Berne, imprints, and so many things. I'll just deal with that. I'll explain. Right. So there are three basic needs for developing a self or self-object. That is, one is need to be loved or need to mirror, the need to idealize, and third need is need for twinship or belongingness. Right. Now, what is need to be loved? When the child becomes, started to develop, they have a grandiose self. Okay. So if you acknowledge and appreciate and welcome the child for whatever they do, then the self, that need is being met. Before that, I want to give a footnote. The need of an individual is not limited, that differs person to person. We cannot just say that this much love is needed for a child. We cannot make it a limit. It differs from child to child. Some child may need more love, some may manage with, or some may need little love. Okay, that depends upon the individual. Now, loved for what they are. So initially, when you parenting, yesterday I was happened to attend the meeting, and the point was positive parenting. It is from the point of parent. Now I talk from the point of child. From the child, they need love, they expect love. If the love is given comfortably, they are happy. So the self object is being developing in a smoother way. Right. Suppose if the the love needs are met, then the love energy is released even when they become older, as they grow, during adolescent stage or adult stage, or even after marriage. The love energy is released automatically. They are able to love people. If the love needs are not met, then they are not able to release love. They don't know how to love people. Some people are, they get locked. Okay. So then they can receive and give love without any disturbances, without any issue. Right. Okay. They have very good self-esteem. They have very good confidence. They are integrated self, and they carry a good dignity. Their self-esteem is very high because they are loved, and during the time they were kept up on the top, and they feel that they are the king and queens of the earth. Right. Then they are able to appreciate people and receive people. They are able to appreciate and receive people. They can be able to bear pain and frustration. Even if they go through some frustration, they can manage without any hitches or, any grumbling. They just go ahead with their life. Right. They can even face failures. Even they can face failures and criticisms. Now, in opposite to that, if the needs are not met, then the child becomes, or the individual becomes, or the self of an individual becomes, they started to feel inferior. They feel self-pity. They become selfish also. So, by this time, I just want to make another note. Okay, you must have heard about inferiority complex and superiority complex. There is no superiority complex as such. The inferiority complex is the basic thing. In order to cope up the situation, they put up a mask like superior. So the superiority complex, I know everything. It's just to give a note that please understand that I also know. So that's a reflection of another way of reflecting inferiority complex is superiority complex. So they feel inferior. Then they become narcissistic and they started brag and boast themselves. We call it pride. Always they talk about themselves. You must have heard some people, when I was in Delhi, when I was in America, they started to boast. I know everything. I have traveled all through the world. I know all things. I used to read books. They say everything. I know Kumar. I know whatever you say. They think they tell that they know. It's because the need is not met. The love need is not met. So their self becomes inferior. So in order to supersede that inferiority, they just show the superiority. Then they get angry often. Then they have an undue expectation. They expect too much of thing from others, right? Then hypersensitive to criticism. They may not be able to, or they will not be able to accept criticism. They will avoid criticism, or they will beat people, or they will struck people who criticize them. They won't allow anyone to open for criticism. They will not be able to accept criticism. They cannot give love. See, I used to meet people, they come with especially women. They come and tell about their husband. They say, my husband doesn't love me at all. In fact, 2 days back, I had a client and a lady said, I know my husband loves me very much, but he doesn't show that. I'm not able to feel it. Okay, so this type of people, those who lack in love need, they are not able to show love. Okay, then they always look for love and appreciation. In fact, they cannot give, but they expect. So these are the major issues of the people who have love need issue. Okay, initially this aspect is taken care of by the mother. So mother takes care of the thing, and the mother bonding builds up this type of fulfills the need of this type of need. Right. Suppose if they are not met with the love need, they are having some issues like they used to be narcissistic. Yesterday I had a phone call from the Prime Minister. Just now I got a call from OPS and EPS. They talk like that. Huh? They primarily they feel inferior and worthless. They go into addiction. So most of the people who go into addiction is just because of their lack in love need. Right? Okay. So the primary feeling, the predominant feeling in their life, just you ask them how long. Say for example 3 years. Take 3 years. What is the predominant feeling you have? They will say sadness. Sadness will be the main predominant feeling they may have. So this is the love need. Now coming to the idealizing need, it is to cope up with the truth of the limitedness. At a point, the child feels that I am everything. Then they say, no. I want everything. Then there is a point where they have to share. There is another world. So they learn. This is the kind of disciplining is being taken. There was a time when they wanted to urinate. They can urinate anywhere. They go for toilet. They go at any time, anywhere, no problem. Now the parents started to restrict. Okay, now this is not a place. Go to this place. They started to have the exaggerated personality it started to shrink a little bit. this is the place where they are able to idealize with the other people. Now they see the big people and they started to imitate. Some children, girl child will, like to wear saris like mother. The boys will, dress like a father. These are all will happen. Like, they imitate. They take they have an ideal personality and they started to follow them or imitate them. Right. If the idealizing need is met, they have good sense of security in life. They have very respectful and ideally oriented. They are motivated. They have very good relationship with authority. As I said earlier, if they have this idealizing need, then they will have very good relationship with the authority. I have seen people, some boys or girls, they will not have any good relationship with the teachers. Some will always have, even whether they study good or bad, that doesn't matter. They have a very good relationship with the teacher. So any authority figure, they tend to get attached to it. Okay. They can be a very good leader. Okay. So they can understand people and they can withstand any pressure and they can go ahead with the life. If the needs are not met, they become rebellious and sometimes they become submissive also. So sometimes they become people pleaser. They always, we in Tamil we used to say, "Jadi keta mudi." They tend to be, jalrap. So kind of, they go the beat of the superior or with any person. They will not have anything on their own. They just go with the wind, right? Okay. Okay. Otherwise, they will have a conflict with the authority. So either they lose their identity or they have a conflict, and they tend to have gossiping nature and passive aggressive also, right? They feel shameful, difficult to assume in leadership roles, and they are in need of power. Okay, they enjoy power. Okay, angry and sometimes cruel also. Need to idealize is being met by the father. So father takes care of everything. Father bonding will, fulfill the basic need of this child, right? If this not met, then the major issues is they become codependent. They cannot decide anything on their own. For simple thing, even for simple thing, they think, I think I lost my mom, I lost my dad. They cannot take decisions. They find it difficult to take decisions. Then in another way, they become power mongers or money mongers. They always go behind power. Okay. So another thing is they have conflict with the authority. So that's the basic thing. This, if they feel inferior or if the need is not met, their prominent feeling may be anger. Anger will be the prominent feeling they face. Right. Now, third one is need for twinship. See, there is a saying in English, birds of feather flock together. Okay. So we tend to get attached with the people of the same group. If we are attached, then it's okay. If they are not attached, then we have issues. So that is the basic thing. If the need is met, then they feel rooted. They are very reliable. They are loyal. They are committed, and they exhibit sense of belonging. They are very good in interpersonal relationship. They can cope up with they can travel with any people. They can adjust with any people. They will not have any adjustment issue. Then they will be assertive also. They can have very good healthy friendship when they have a very good, their needs are fulfilled. If it is not fulfilled, then they are unreliable. They are irresponsible. Their interpersonal relationship will be very poor. Even that will, go up to the marriage level. If the, in the marriage, the couple, one of the partner is not able to manage, then they have this twinship issue. Those who travel are, are transferred because of the father's position or mother's job. they shifted place to place, then they may have this issue. Right. Okay. So actually, family takes care of this. As a family means father and mother, even a sibling, all together, they give the need. They fulfill the need. So it is called family bonding. Right. So if they have, if they lack in this twinship need, then they may have attachment issue. You must have heard about John Bowlby. He talks about a different attachment theory. Right. Okay. That's actually, he talks about the family relationship. So the family relationship attachment may be disturbed because of this lack of this need. Right. Okay. Even Murray Bowen talks about this family and individualization. All these concepts, when you talk about all the family therapies, their issue starts from the childhood itself. Right. So the predominant feeling because of lack of this issue is called fear. So they will have fear in life. Even in attachment, there is a sense of fear. My partner will stick to me or run away? So they tend to cling on. They tend to cling on. So that bothers the other person. Attachment is okay. When they try to cling on, we call it, in the college, I have heard it from the college students, they say, I am possessive to that person. Some people, they proudly say, I am a very possessive person. My friend need to be with me always. That possessive love, that is very, very dangerous. It is not normal. Okay, possessive love is not normal. It is abnormal. Just because I have a sense of insecurity in the relationship, I try to cling on. I just hold tight. I have heard some clients who are having been, attached to that person, not able to come out. They are, they feel suffocated. They won't allow. If I don't talk to the other person, my friend should also should not talk to the other person. We have a very strict line. I want my friend to be always with me. Even one day, good morning message is not coming, then gone. They have a very good fight. They say it's very good love. I sent, so then it is because of insecurity feeling. Okay, it is not at all accepted by psychologically, right? Okay, anyway, I'll just deal with that little later. Now, when the child is fulfilled with the love need, they feel their worth. They feel that they are worth. Yeah, they feel that they are having a purpose in life. So they find some reason. They think that they are profitable to other people. Right. Okay. Those who are having good idealizing need, they have a very good ability. They are able to show the ability. If it is not fulfilled, then even though they have some ability, they will not be able to show it. I have seen people, who can sing well. If you ask them to come and sing on the stage, no, I will not come. They cannot volunteer. They cannot come out. But some people, even they have voice or not, they jump and they come up and they sing. Even others are running out of the place. They don't bother. That if they are idealized properly, or their ideal self is being fulfilled properly, then they are able to present themselves. Then belongingness or twinship need is met. They are able to attach to people. They are able to relate with people. They can be able to kind of adjust with people. They can give and take policies. They can go with the give and take policy. Right. Okay. Okay. Now I'll just jumping out from Kane's cohort, self psychology, and I'll just mention some other. I derived from so many things. I'm thankful to Anugraha for teaching me so many things, and I'm able to grab some of the things, and I'm able to present now. Right. So need for love, as I said, it's been said, and the need for security, that is also I have said. Then need for significance. See, in parenting, I think the parents need to know this. If you understand the child and if you understand the psychological need of the child, their mental health will be very refined. They will be very healthy, right? So we are, actually having this webinar as mental health, right? I know all the parents will be very happy to feed the child. They know what to give physically. The needs are being met systematically. They have a very good plan. Even if the child is not drinking milk, they take a lactogen or Complan. If they are not growing properly, add Complan. Yeah. So they supplement and they give good food. They are now Indian parents are very good giving the physical need of the child, but the psychological need is being ignored. Now that need to be taken care of, right? So as I said earlier, first they need to be loved. It is not for what they do actually. When they do good thing, don't show love. You need to love for what they are. Okay, it is your child, you need to love. So that unconditional love you give. If they do something good, also you appreciate. But don't love or don't give a hug when the child done good thing. Even if they done some mistake, just hug and tell them this is not the way to do. If you do like that, that will be fine, right? Then the child need to have a security feeling, right? I just want to put a word. See, most of the Indian women, I mean, nowadays, both the parents are working. So they get only 3 months of maternity leave. So after 3 months, they just leave and go. They cheat children and go. The child will be taken to one room. The mother will be inside the room. They behave as if the mother is inside and the mother will escape. That's not the way to do. You just teach the child, I am going out, but I will be coming back. Tell the truth to the child so that the child will not have the anxiety of insecurity. Right. Okay. So the child need to have a secure feeling all the time. If they are afraid and they come to you, just give them a hug. Just show them the security. Just show show or assure them that they are safe. Okay. The second thing is they need significance. The need of significance. Even there are 10 children, you need to see your child. They will be looking at you, whether my mother or my father is looking at me. Sometimes we go with the wind, some school program and all, you just encourage everything. Your friends' children will come, you will appreciate them. You may neglect sometimes. You tend to neglect. It's not purposefully done, but by mistake. So make sure that your child, understands that they are significant. So you show that thing. Then praise. Okay. Eric Berne, in a transaction analysis, he used the term called strokes. Positive strokes. Give positive strokes always. It need not be a conditional positive stroke. It can be an unconditional positive stroke. Suppose if something they have done good. Oh, you have drawn picture very well, very good. Okay, it's a conditional because if the child is drawn something good, you appreciate to the condition. Just say you are good, you are lovely, you are a wonderful child, I love you. No, this is unconditional. Whether they do good or bad, no matter, you appreciate. That type of praise, you always praise. To an extent, when the child becomes, goes to third or fourth standard, till that time, you just appreciate even if they, draw, black color, I have seen, children in drawing, they are asked to paint. So maybe a man, okay. So the child will take a black crayon and all the face they'll scratch black. Immediately the mother will jump. I mean, hey, idiot, is this the way to draw? Then they draw. Huh? No. Allow the child to draw. Whatever they draw, it is good. Okay, it is their choice. If they draw black on the face, no problem. When they grow up, they should not draw black on the other. I mean, they should not throw ink on the other face. That's the issue. Child, it's not at all a matter. So encourage whatever they do. I have heard a story like, once there was a man who loves his car. He never allowed a person to scratch his car, right? So one day his son, had a stone on his hand and he scratched on the car. He saw from far and he came running and hit his son. Okay. and said, "You damaged my car, you scratched my car," and he saw. There it was written, "I love my father." Right. Okay. So, yeah, whatever they do, you teach them what to do, but appreciate for everything they do. Then accept the child as it is. See, last week I had a client who actually the family has got two girl child. The second girl child was black, it seems. So the mother was not able to take it, and from that day onwards, I mean, it is 7 years now. They have very great issues in the family. Okay, so color is God given, facial complex is God given. Accept whatever it may be. Even the gender, you accept. You don't need to have a preference. Okay, nowadays it is coming up, but anyway, don't show any partiality. Accept the child as it is. Right. The sixth need is disciplining. You need to discipline the child. Discipline in a gentle way. Don't just beat the child. Right. See, why I'm telling this? This will affect the self of the child. So, child self is affected. When they become older, also that continues. The issue continues. So, in order to have a very good self, very good son, a very good daughter, you need to take care of these things. Right. Okay. When I say discipline, I just want to add a note. Once there was a father, he took his son to the beach. So there they were flying kites. So he also bought one kite and he just, made the kite to fly. The kite was flying very nicely. The father was holding the string and the son was also holding the hand. As it was flying, the father asked, even I can ask the same question to you. What is the cause for the successful fly of the kite? You can unmute and say something. Let me give you some chance at least. What makes the kite fly so high, comfortably? Yeah, you can unmute and speak.
Both father and son collaborating and,
Collaboration?
working together.
Okay. What else?
The happiness of both
Controlling
father
of
and
the
mother's
threads,
relationship.
controlling of the threads.
Good wind. Okay.
Happiness of both father and son's relationship.
Okay. Now, what makes the kite fly? Whether they are fighting or kissing, that
Because
doesn't
of the wind direction.
Because of wind. Okay. Because of wind, the kite is flying. Okay. Okay. What else?
The string we hold, sir.
That's right. Absolutely correct. The string we hold. If the hold is not, that the kite is not in control, it will not fly smoothly, in a high pace. If the string is cut, then it will go off. It will not be seen. It will not be visible. It may fall off at any time. Until the string is holded, it's been held tightly or, correctly, it will fly. Right? So disciplining plays a vital role in the child self. Right? Okay. The last thing, but not least, the twinship. As I said, the seventh point is twinship. Right? I'm sorry, I'm unable to share the PowerPoint because of some technical problem. I'm new to this WebEx also. Okay. I tried from yesterday. I didn't have an account, so I was not able to do that. Sorry for that. I'll send you the PowerPoint. Right? Anyway, now I have explained you, including Kane's cohort. I have explained 7 points of 7 needs. If these needs are met, they have a very good self. They form a very good self. But unfortunately, we don't have perfect parenting. Somewhere that has been damaged. Okay. I got a client who was doing her PG, and the issue was she's having issue with the mother. So even the client came with the mother. Actually, the mother brought her for counseling. Usually, the children, they are brought by the parent, whether they are willing or unwilling. They say something and they bring it, and they want us to repair everything. Before that, they call in the phone. I'm bringing my daughter. She doesn't know that she is coming for a counseling. but please make her, better and, send me. Like, it's a mechanic shop, doing something like that. So most of the time it's like that. Okay. So she came and we make the unwilling client as a willing client. And I just started to converse with her after building a good rapport. The child said, when I needed mother, she is not here. She went abroad for earning money. Actually, I just heard from the parent that after the child is, around 3 or 4 months old, she left the child with the grandparent and she went to Arabian countries for earning because they were struggling for finance. And so she had to go and she went. Okay. So the love, actually, the mother loved her daughter and all the properties, she earned, they have 2 houses. Actually, they got 2 children, 2 houses, car, they have all the facilities they have. So now almost to get settled, everything is there. Now the mother has come back. Now the daughter is not having good relationship with the mother. Now I asked, she said, when I wanted, she is not there. Now I don't need any support. What is the use of their coming? Let her come, be there, no problem, like a person, no problem. But I cannot be attached to my mother because all the way I was brought up my grandmother. So my love is for my grandmother. Right? Okay. So even the parents are willing to do better or the best for the children. They are that some damage is being done. Some dent. Yesterday, the Anu madam was telling dent. There used to be a dent. It's like the shame, childhood wounds, mind locks, fear of intimacy, unknown anger, fear, all the issues, that are all, clouded in our self. Now the self is damaged. Now the self is worth living or not. Friends, I'll tell you, I have so many examples, but I just want to tell you one thing. If you could read about Golden Buddha, just type it in Google, you will find the story of Golden Buddha. Right? It was a mud Buddha once, then it became Golden Buddha. Okay, it's a true history. Just go ahead and read it. I'll tell you one thing. I have my currency in my hand. Okay, I have I think it is visible. It's 500 rupees. Okay. What is the worth of this cash? See, we cannot certainly say because maybe tonight there may be an announcement. But anyway, let's go. Let's not go into the politics. Okay. Anyway, what is the worth of this paper? You can unmute and speak. You can chat. I think, are you chatting? No. Okay. I don't know where the chat box is. Okay. Anyway. Okay. It's 500, right? Suppose I stamp on it. What is the worth of this paper? Still it is 500, right? Friends, our self has the same value. Whether it is damaged or that is has got dent, that has so much of wound, everything, the value doesn't fall, right? The value is there, but we need to create the value. So that's how we recreate the self. So the self is damaged. It is totally deserted, distorted because of the neglect and all the childhood wounds and everything. So the major psychotherapists or psychologists say the personality is almost developed 80% when they come of age at 13 or something, adolescent age, right? Okay. So if there is a difficulties or some issues, then the total life is been struggling. They struggle a lot. Now we need to reclaim. Okay, I am very amazed by the words of John Bradshaw, okay, who has said about reclaiming. Even in Anugraha, we have inner child program that's very famous, and so many people are coming and healing themselves. There are some wounds, there are some shame, there are some fear, unknown anger, everything is there. Now, how to recreate? There are only 4 steps. I think I just want to take 2, 3 minutes, then we can have some time for question answer or discussion. Right? Okay. First, reclaim what you lost. You reclaim. Okay. How do we reclaim? Just remove or release. Second point is release. First reclaim. Second point is release. Release all your mud, all your dirt. That is anger, anxiety, grief. Whichever the damage has been done. When you send your car for repainting, or when it is damaged, then they scratch. They take out all the dirt, all the scrap thing. They take out everything. So release everything. So by releasing, third one is reconcile. If the fragment itself need to reconcile, or that they need to become cohesive. Okay, they reconcile. Then finally, we reparent. Okay, there is a good term called reparenting. What we have lost, that can be gained. Keynes Cohort has explained in some other therapeutic form, but there are so many therapies available now. So by reclaiming and by releasing all the negatives and reconcile with oneself, that fragment itself become one. Then you reparent Marasiratu, like you are as if you are born new, and you can make yourself a newborn child, so that all the past wounds and past things are gone. Now you become. It's a systematic way of dealing things. Now, I have been practicing counseling, this type of scientific counseling for more than 7-8 years. Right? It gives a wonderful change in the family. Even they, I had a client. They were not able to be in talking terms for 17 years. Now they enjoy life. They often call me and thank for bringing that joy into the family. So so many evidences are so many are there. When you become refresh yourself, recreate yourself, you will have a very peaceful, calm, and joyful life. It is not that life which goes. It is with full of life. Life with full of life and happiness. That can be reiterated. So the value will not go down. It is like a new person, you can enjoy it. So make sure that, it's a two-way. Suppose if you take it for your personal life, just analyze where you are, how damaged you are, or try to recreate yourself. Or if you are a counselor, just feel what area they are damaged. It's an easy sign to get to know the things you want to deal with. How to counsel them, the way you need to deal with them, that will be very easy for you to handle, and you can make them a happy person. Right? I think I have spoken not as a psychologist and giving core subject. Of course, I was talking more of self-psychology, but it is of John Bradshaw, recreating or reclaiming oneself. So, as a counselor's point of view, I have just shared. If you have any doubts, I think we have a few minutes.
Yeah, thank you, sir, for a wonderful presentation. and as you said, your experiential talk on self and recreating self, it is a wonderful session. Now, dear participant, if you have any clarification regarding the today's presentation, you are welcome. Please unmute your audio, and then we can interact with the speaker right now. There are positive feedbacks are pouring in the chat box, sir.
Okay.
Dear participant, if you would you like to interact, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, I have been teaching for a long period of time, so I know when you are filled with full of information, you don't ask questions. Right? I take that in that sense. There are two times you may not have question. One, if you don't understand anything, you will not ask any question. If you understood completely, then also you don't. I presume that second thing. Yes, I know. Okay.
Then only they express their gratitude, and we can see gratitude were there in the chat box, sir.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was trying to be very precise, in very simple term. I never wanted to use jargons.
Yes. And direct, I can say. Still, I can see today the more number of feedback for your session, sir, starting from uh, Dr. Vidya. And there is an Dr. Vidya, would you like to interact with the speaker? Please unmute yourself. Dr. Vidya Prabha?
Sir, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sir, you were talking about the self. Yeah, it was very simple and able to understand easily. The other part of recreating the self. So, yeah, I can understand when a self is damaged, then as the child grows into an adulthood, right? So, the child may have problems, as you said, interpersonal relationships or coping up with the life and things. So, how to recreate their damaged self? Like maybe few tips if you can, a simple tip where we can do it for ourselves.
As a counselor, I would say, okay, when someone comes, I am actually practicing family counseling. I'm concentrating on family counseling. So most of the time, the childhood wounds, the way they have been, they were lacking, that is being reflected. That's what I said. John Bowlby, Murray Bowen, Plain, Lawrence, all these people, they talk about even Virginia Satir. They were all talking about family. So the childhood issue, goes up till the grave. Okay. So when you come to know that they have some issue, well, I was dealing with 7 needs. Each need will be reflected in some of the issue, right? So make them understand first. And if suppose the anger is too much on the father, just drain, deal with the father first. Instead of, suppose I am having an issue with my manager, my HM principal, instead of dealing with that, you go to the root. Just go one by one, go back and go to the root. There will be a root. If it is being uprooted, then the whole issue is being solved. So that's how we recreate. Like, go to the root, remove uproot the issue that is, releasing the negative feelings, and you make them to have a cohesive self.
Hello.
The fragmented self will become cohesive self, and then they can enjoy life. They become, just deal with it. Within 2-3 sessions, that can be done. We always talk about the present. If the daughter-in-law is having issue with the mother-in-law, we deal with she's behaving like that. Okay. Go to the root of the client. Then we'll be able to settle the issue. Because the healthy self can survive and live happily in any situation. That's a philosophy.
So, hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible? Sir,
Yes.
I can understand that. So, for example, if the root is found, yes, the problem is with the father in the childhood.
Yeah.
So, if the child has not received father's love,
That's
if
right.
it is an abandoned child, you can just take it. It's an abandoned child. The child has not received father's love at all.
Okay.
Even at the age of 40, this girl is still wounded, thinking about this father. Why my father is even now not talking to me, not giving a moral support when I have problem with my husband, whatever.
Okay.
Now also, right? So now the root is also known, that father. But even if you solve that issue, right? If the father is still not able to give the love, because this is the father's end, right? So how now we are going to help this girl to reclaim that love which is even now not getting it? Maybe my question is...
Yeah, I understand your question.
You can understand, right?
I'll
See,
put
now
it-
root is found.
Yeah.
Now this girl is also able to understand also, but still this girl is still having a problem that, yes, I'm not able to get my father's love even now.
Okay.
How to now advise this girl to come out of that, because she is still wounded?
Madam, I'll tell you practically. First, talk about the wound. They will have anger on his father.
Yes.
Drain that anger first. Unless
That is-
until that anger is drained, maybe Gestalt can be done, or CBT or REBT. There are so many therapies we have. So remove that feeling of anger first. See, that's why we say, when they say some emotion, there may be some hidden emotion. We need to dig that and we need to drain that out. When the anger is being drained out, then they will come up, okay, because of his situation, he has done that. So they come to another level of understanding.
Okay.
Right. They cannot, suppose I'm 40 years old, for example, my client is 40 years old. The issue with the father was happened when he was 4 years old. Now, the father, maybe father must have gone, must have been deceased, or seems to be, dead. Now, understanding and, expressing the emotion, they will be able to understand. They become aware and they will come to a point where they'll say, okay, it is because of my, suppose I just dealt with the girl which I said, when mother left her alone, and then she was having terrific anger on her mother, because till the age of adolescence, she wanted her mother, but she was not there. She never know the physical condition, when they were at an age. That time also she was not knowing anything. So she was in terrific anger. Then I drained all the anger. Then they may able to see the other level. It is like, when they are with the emotion, they are drowned. When you remove the emotion, they come up. Then they will see a bigger picture. Then they will be able to realize. So releasing of the emotion is the prime. When the emotion is removed, then they will be able to think. Suppose I am angry with my wife. I think she is there. Huh? Okay. Unless and until the anger is there, I may not have any, compromising effort, or I cannot think beyond that. If my anger is gone, then I'll say, chalte, theek hai. Okay, chhod de. Okay. So, what to do? Okay. She spoke from her point of, okay. Then I'm able to see another perspective. I could see a broader perspective. Then I myself reclaim the love I left. Okay. Then it can be substituted with some other people, who else loved you, or, religion can play a vital role. So supplement with that. That's fine.
Thank you.
That will
Thank
do the better thing.
Okay,
Removing the negative is the primary thing you need to do.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Sir, thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vidya, and thank you, Dr. Benher, sir, for your wonderful answering. And for that one also, someone said that the same question they had in the mind, and which I have explained very well. When we are angered towards somebody else, we have to drain the anger, I think rightly said, and then we have to take care of the other component. Good.
Sorry, one minute.
Please,
We always say, deal with the feeling. In counseling, deal with the feeling. Deal as much as you can. Suppose I'm angry on someone, I say, I'm angry. Are you angry? Yes, I'm angry. I'm angry. I'm not angry. Leave me. They come to a level. It goes off. When you talk more about that feeling, it may feel, you are kind of, what do you call it? Bored hearing that same word. But at the same time, that will drain the emotion. So deal with the feeling. If you deal with the feeling, if it is sadness or grief or, anger, fear, deal with the feeling, then it is, you are relieving it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And I think we are going to wind up the session today. I'm happy to propose vote of thanks for today's session to Dr. my beloved colleague in the field of counseling psychology, 3 decades, my senior, I can say. I was wonder when I was attending his first session at here at Bell Jumbo Hotel, where it is about the first is introduction session where he made everyone to interactive. The icebreaker session itself, it shows that his ability to and experience in the field of counseling. Thank you so much, sir, being connected with me and being here to share that one of the valuable topic in the field of psychology, self and recreating self. And even for myself, I can say it is a new perspective for me. There are 7 habits which I have set for us to make a change in ourselves. It is an worthwhile. Every one of us today who has attended today's session, I record my sincere thanks to you from my heart and behalf of the Department of Psychology, American College, and the core team members. And today, Dr. Chandra facilitated session. Thank you, Dr. Chandra, and associating institutions like Madras School of Social Work, Redmond Education Psychology Research Center, Psychoanalytic Association, SCAR, and Yellow Pond Counseling Center. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, participants, for your continuous support. And definitely, sir, we will have many more sessions in this webinar series itself. It is a request, humble request. Please accept our invitation and please share your knowledge to us, and it will be very useful for the people who are here. Thank you all, and we will meet another wonderful session. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Welcome, sir.